Hello, YouTube. This is Bash bringing you here for a draft analysis of Crash Season 11 Arceus Division, the top division, the best. Yeah, what we got here.
Crypto vibes, guys. Joining Bashley on the Bash channel. Just figured it was time to come back, so this will also be uploaded on my channel. It's been like forever since I've uploaded anything, but yeah, this is just a little dual com draft preview with both of our teams. So yeah.
Hell yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about some of the. Well, I guess we want to talk about that. There's a fact. This is the this is the league we actually run together. So
That would help. Yeah, this is for Crash Season 11. And we've both ran this league since probably like what 2018 or something like that.
yeah,
Been
something
around
like
for a
that.
while, maybe earlier than that, but yeah, we got definitely some nice competition this time around. Some good coaches, and then and then sketch. So it's not doing too bad. So we're hoping to have another good season, and we both have. I'm sure you could tell this beautiful layout. We both have 10 Pokemon to show off here. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. And then to add to that, by the way, before we get started, because the terror rules in this league are very different than every other
yes,
league that we should mention. The 9 point, you get two terror captains. One is 9 point and above. They can only tear into one type. And Crypto, you want to talk about the other one?
yes. So it's a free Terra basically. So anything from 8 points and below, you can pick that mon and it can Terra into any type. And the only difference from this season to previous seasons and where we had this rule is we're going to be playing in um, Terra Preview or National Dex Terra Preview. So you will be able to see what Terra type that Pokemon is in the battle, but it still has the ability to pick any Terra going into that game essentially. So during prep and stuff, it's pretty annoying and kind of hard to deal with.
Oh my god!
So yeah,
Thank God we're doing that this season, by the way. But
that'll make it a little better. Yeah, the
yeah,
guessing games were not fun.
yeah. So going into this draft, though, funny enough, we were actually right next to each other too.
Yeah, plenty of snipes ready to happen.
Yep. Crypto with the seventh pick, me with the eighth pick. So that kind of left us with like some interesting situations in terms of Pokemon throughout this entire draft. But yeah, let's go into the draft. Are you good with that, right, Crypto?
Yeah, I'm ready, man. Let's do it.
Okay. So round one we got here. Do you want to go over your pick real quick? Because you went first in this round.
Um, Yeah, we'll just do it like that. I'll go first. Next round, you'll go first, like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no. Basically, I was between two mons at this point: Roaring Moon and Gouging Fire. And I was kind of disappointed at first because I wanted to get Roaring Moon, but Volume took it. Volume loser. But anyways, he took Roaring Moon, so I decided to go with Gouging Fire. And after I built my whole team around this thing, I am very okay that I got Gouging Fire because this thing is going to be a monster this season. It is my Terramon, and I decided to go Terra Fairy with it. So I think that it's going to be able to sponge a lot of hits throughout the season, just take on a ton of different things. And even without Terra, like the Fire from Dragon typing with reliable recovery and the bulk it has, it's going to be a very good pivot into a lot of different mons. I do think it's the mon that requires a decent amount of support, though, if you're going to try to use it to sweep late game a lot of times. So you're going to notice kind of a trend with my team on what I decided to do around it. Yeah, I don't really. I'm not gonna say anything else to get too much into it, but that's my first pick.
Yeah. One of the fattest Pokemon that there is right now because it is
Eats thick,
stupid.
all right.
Yeah. So
Yep.
on my side, I was debating between a couple of Terra captains. But kind of like, well, going into this draft, even Crypto knew this. I really wanted like Terra King Gambit, because I've been wanting to try this. I haven't tried it all Gen 9, and I feel like it's even better in National Dex, especially with the cut moves being allowed because it has access to like knockoff pursuit and rock polish, which makes it even more like insane. But on top of that, it's funny enough that we got what people consider the best two fairies in the draft because that's both our Terra type with these two captains right now.
Yeah.
So
Who needs Clefable anymore? We got these guys.
yeah, exactly. But
No.
yeah, King Game and Prize gives me priority, gives me like a really interesting mechanic with the Supreme Overlord where maybe I don't care as much about sacking off a Pokemon if it means I could boost up my King Gambit. So kind of like a weird
Yep.
situation, yeah. So like even when my opponent is winning, they're technically losing. So
Oh no. I'll keep that in mind if we play.
yeah,
Jeez.
but
Oh
yeah,
man, no, that was yeah. I was just gonna say that was a fire pick for sure. It was only like 16 points on the board too, which is like pretty solid for even like Like you can tear it and stuff still, so that was nice.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it was almost like it was purposely placed there. What? No,
Yeah,
no. But
well, it got raised actually, but
yeah,
yeah.
it actually did a couple points. But yeah, surprisingly though, in the other divisions, it wasn't picked till like later rounds. So, but I'm hoping to use this to this monster of a Pokemon. I can't wait to use it. But yeah, let's go into our next round where it came back to me before Krypto, and I ended up grabbing Mew here because it kind of filled a couple roles. Well, first off, it's a versatile Pokemon, right? It's the best in the game in terms of versatility. But I really liked it for its ability synchronize because of the fact that like a lot of people are gonna want to click Will-O-Wisp on King Gambit. So I felt like being able to punish that with like synchronize is gonna be really good. And like honestly, like if Mew is special, I'm probably not gonna really care about it being burned too. So I'm like in a pretty good situation there. But I also really like the fact that I could get Hazard Stack with this. I could set up. There's just too many things to mention with this, with Mew, because it just fills too many things. It has the ability to do way too many things. But yeah, it gives me a really good answer to fighting types before I Terra King Gambit, or in case I don't want to Terra King Gambit. So yeah.
Yeah, I think Mew is a really cool pick from you. Given that you know you can use Gambit a lot in the late game and stuff, and kind of make Mew however you want to. You can like essentially just any given matchup utilize it in a way that could like support King Gambit or something late game. So it's pretty cool. I'm sure you have a lot of good ideas coming with it.
Yeah.
Um, but anyways, went ahead and drafted on my side of round two. We went and got Mega Diancie. So for a while going into this draft, I don't know if I mentioned too much, but after Gouging Fire, I really wanted to try to get Mega Beedrill, but Mega Diancie was still on the board when it came back to round two, and I've used this thing quite a bit, and I love Mega Diancie. And at this point, whenever I got Mega Diancie, I already knew what my round three pick was going to be. Um, but basically, yeah, this just gives me a really good special breaker, physical breaker even. So it's very nice, it's very nice along that side. And I have two fairies now, so come at me with your dragons all you want. You know, I'm ready for it. And also, Magic Bounce is very underrated. That I have with Roaring or not Roaring Moon, but Raging Raging. Oh my god,
Whoa! What was
gouging
that?
fire. I keep, I keep wanting to call it Raging Bolt for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, also gives me a nice speed tier at one base 110. So I don't know. Adds to the Fire Dragon or Fairy Dragon Steel Core, and yeah, it's definitely just a mon I like using a lot. So that's really all there is to it.
Yeah, I really like the fact the magic belts with the fact that like a lot of people are gonna want to toxic the gouging fire, so taking advantage of that was really nice. But yeah, and also like technically with gouging fire being Terra Fairy, now you kind of have like a bulky fairy and an offensive fairy too. So it kind of works
Yo,
out because Mega Dancy isn't really typically considered your like typical fairy because of how offensive and more frail I would say it is, especially since it's four
yeah,
times weak to steel. So I really like that, that aspect of it. So
most definitely.
yeah, so let's go into round three with your
Yeah,
pick.
kind of chaining into that. I was like, as soon as I said I got a Raging. Let me see. Can I get his name right? Raging Fire.
Oh
I
my
can't
god,
change.
bro!
I can't even think of his name. Okay, keep in mind it's 1 a.m. right now. But Gouging Fire. Jesus Christ. I'm just gonna call it Entei. Whatever. We're
Bro,
calling it Entei
you
today.
can't even
Okay.
name your own first draft pick, like round pick, bro. You're
He's
captaining your
shit.
team. That's
Okay, it's fine.
crazy.
He's shit. No, but anyways, we got Rillaboom. Okay, so we needed some grassy terrain. We needed some support because immediately I already have two mons that don't appreciate like earthquake, ground coverage in general. So adding Rillaboom gives me a little bit extra support there, and also a water slayer because both these mons don't appreciate bulky waters in general. They can struggle depending on what they are, or even offensive faster waters can be a little bit troublesome, like things like Greninja, freaking what's its face, Iron Bundle, stuff like that. So adding Rillaboom was kind of cool. It gives me a nice priority option. And if I want to later in the team, then I can always add stuff to pair with the terrain, which is always nice too. Not saying if that happened or not, but it might have. But yeah, that's Rillaboom there.
Yeah, Rillaboom was a very interesting pick. I think it really does support the team pretty well. And for especially with before gouging fire Terras, adding to that like recovery aspect of it. By the way, because it's so bulky, so now you don't even have to run like leftovers a lot of times. We could because it Gouging Fire likes to run like either leftovers boost or heavy duty boots kind of thing. So getting the extra allowed recovery is going to make that so much more annoying to try to take down, but also taking away like that ground weakness is really nice. So yeah, I really like that pick. But going into my pick, there was two Pokemon I was aiming for that I was hoping would get back to me, and that was either Great Tusk or Garchomp. And as you can see, I ended up getting Garchomp because Tusk got taken like a couple picks after my last pick. But I was so shocked this came to me round three. I kind of just picked it because it was there, and it was probably because I had like more points to spend because I saved a little bit with King Gambit. Garchomp provides a more hazard stack, right? Because I now have two Pokemon with really good hazard stack potential. It gives me breaking potential, gives me defensive option, gives me rough skin, rocky helmet that I really like to be able to wear things down. Gives me a pretty good speed tier, even though it's pretty close to Mew. But yeah, I think Garchomp provides a lot for this team, so I was like kind of really happy about like that was still around. I might have preferred Great Tusk maybe at the time because of like spinning ability, but I really like I think Garchomp's ability to like get up like hazard stack and stuff like that, and to punish Pokemon from clicking like U turn and stuff like that with like Rough Skin, Rocky Helmet. But yeah, yeah. So that's my pick here.
Yeah, I mean, getting Garchomp round 3 is pretty crazy, like you were saying, because I mean that could be literally depending on how the draft goes. Some people could take that like end of round 1. Like, he's
Yeah,
definitely not a bad mon by any means. Gives you another potential setup, just good win con with Scale Shot and S Swords Dance. That's super spammable and easy to run.
yeah,
And then there's just a great hazard setter and good defensive mon in general. So gives you a lot of utility like Mew does. So I think you're supporting King Gambit really well off the bat, and excited to see where this team goes. So yeah.
yeah. So going to round four, this crazy enough. I was came into round four and I was gonna pick probably
That's
more
wild.
of like a hazard controlling option of like being able to like spin or something like that, but then like I saw this monster I'm still on the board and I was like I can't pass up on it. Round four Chi was crazy to me, even though I do already have a dark type, which by the way it tears anyway, so it's not really too big of a deal. I think they provide different like rules on the team where they both break on different sides of the physical versus special. But also, Geo like is more of a I consider it more of a fire type than I do a dark type because of the fact that it likes to spam overheat and stuff like that. But having this as a breaker here is crazy. I'm so shook that this was still here around for, and I kind of decided to just kind of put the removal option on the hold for like the next couple for this round because of the fact that like I just couldn't pass up on it. It's just I love this Pokemon. It's my probably out of the Gen 9 Pokemon allowed. This is like my second favorite that I've used like in draft behind Palafin. As you, if everybody's seen my videos, you know how I am with Palafin. But yeah, so but yeah, Chiyu, I love Chiyu, and I'm so excited to use it again this season. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm also shocked that that was there around 4. So that's pretty cool. You have obviously Gambit and Garchomp holding it down on the physical side as far as breaking, and now you've got a really strong special breaker. So the team's getting balanced. You're gonna need some nice removal for that thing or whatever down the road, but I'm sure you got that coming. But yeah, no, very solid mon yet again, and team's looking a little borked at the moment. Not gonna lie. And then
Hey, yeah.
here on here on my side here, we got a Jirachi round 4. I was really looking for, everybody always loves putting together their Fair Dragon Steel cores, and a good resist to that is obviously getting a nice solid steel. And steels are starting to go pretty fast at this point. Bash is over here with his King Gambit. People are picking up Melmetals, freaking shit like that. So I'm like, all right, let's pick up Jirachi. I haven't used this guy in a while, so gives me a nice speed tier, base 100 in between Mega Diancie and Gouge and Fire, which I really liked. And overall, just some nice utility with Stealth Rocks, U-Turn, Wish, and just good stuff like that. And it even has setup capabilities. And you better have your cover cloaks on deck because I'm not afraid to run Joy Scarf, and I will flinch you a lot.
uh,
So, yeah, that's Jirachi.
of course, Crypto took the Hacks God. Of course,
Yup.
the only thing wouldn't surprise me less is if Sketch took that because he loves to hacks people. He hacks so many people, by the way.
Oh my
Like,
god. He
oh
gets
my,
joy from it.
yeah, he literally gets like it oozes from him when he.
He tingles in weird areas.
Okay, but yeah, Jirachi's a really solid pick here. Especially with like Rillaboom support with like grassy terrain, it's gonna be really annoying to deal with. I really like the U-turn momentum with that. Um, and to get into like really like things like on bulky waters right that come in on Jirachi, get Rillaboom in stuff like that, right? Fire types that want to come in Jirachi, you got Mega Diancie, and Gouging Fire just kind of like walls pretty much any fire type in the game almost. So but before Terra especially. So I really like the support options, and T Wave support also helps with gouging fire as well for and making an answer for outspeeding. So I really like that aspect of it. But yeah, let's. Do you want to go into our next round
Yeah,
here?
let's do it. We're on a roll. Let's freaking do it. Oh, the
Okay.
poison round, the toxic round.
Yep.
uh, yeah, we both decided to get a little toxic this round, and I decided to scoop up Nidoking. I got sniped on Nidoqueen. I'd like Nidoking better, but Nidoqueen fit the speed tier regimen for me a little bit better. But overall, I'm kind of glad I got Nidoking just because I needed a little bit better of a breaker to go alongside of Diancie and Rillaboom just because the rest of my team down the line isn't really going to be breaker heavy. So this is kind of nice to add more to my offensive components and give me a third Stealth Rocker already, which is also really nice. And obviously, this being a better special attacker under terrain is good for things like Earth Power. And but yeah, don't sleep on its physical presence. It's a lot of people for some reason don't expect Sucker Punch, and I had multiple situations where Sucker Punch comes in really clutch with this thing. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That could be something down the road that we decide to throw in there. And it gives me another fairy resist, like I was just talking about with the steels and dragons and fairies. Fairy is a very scary offensive typing to have to deal with. So having this and Jirachi paired together now, I feel pretty happy about.
Yeah. Wow. I'm so proud of Crypto. He's like kind of moving away from stall potential right here with this pick. With like, now he's got more of an offensive Pokemon.
Oh,
I'm
just
so proud
wait,
of him.
just wait.
Oh God. But Nidoking always loved that Pokemon. It hits so hard. It even if the speed tier is like not as good as it used to be, right? It's still I still think it provides a lot, especially with like the fact that you're probably gonna be spamming Thunderwave and Jirachi. I think it's perfectly fine to have the speed tier. Um, but yeah, like I feel like a lot of people do, as you said, like a lot of people underestimate the physical aspect of Neoking because it gets a lot more special coverage, but or hit like better special moves per se compared to physical moves. But it hits super hard, and Sucker Punch is a really cool option, especially against something like say like a Deoxys Speed, I guess, right?
Yes.
To catch that off guard, even though it may or may not be able to tear in this division at least. But yeah, that's besides
Spoilers.
the point. Yeah, but yeah, let me go into the Pokemon I picked, which was like my main idea with like uh, I decided to go with this removal option plus hazard stack. So now I have three Pokemon that can hazard stack on my team. So I'm pretty happy about that. I usually don't really not really too big on getting hazards other than like Glamora and stuff. But like I think this season it's gonna really help out with like getting things in range of Chi-Yu and King Gambit specifically, or even Garchomp. So, but Glamora I think provides a lot of support in that way. First off, removal option. I really like Mortal Spin removal option. It's a really good suicide lead, by the way, too. If you don't know what suicide lead
Oh,
is,
got you.
it's where you lead a Pokemon, they set up some hazards, and then they die. So that's exactly what it might do some games, and that's perfectly fine because I have it paired with King Gambit, which means I'm just gonna get another boost from that. Which with hazards up, it's gonna be
Exactly.
even fantastic. So, but yeah, Glamora provides a lot. Gives me a fairy resist that I didn't have at the moment. Um, Removal option, hazard stack, but also can hit really hard on the special side too, giving me another possible wall breaker if I want to use it because it does get pretty decent coverage to hit the counters it needs to. So yeah, feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, no spoilers. The rest of Bash's team actually has Mons that all know explosion, and that's his game plan. He's just gonna kill everything so King Gambit can win. He's really going all in on the ability there. So
You know
but
what?
no,
Go big or go home. You know.
exactly, yeah. All your wins are gonna be 1-0. There you go. You're be good. But anyways, now Glamora, this thing's a beast. It ended my season last season in semis, so I hate this mon, but it is a really good offensive mon. So you definitely do not want to sleep on that. Just because it's known for throwing up hazards and spinning them away. Yet you cannot sleep on the offensive capabilities. But anyways, yeah, no, definitely I like the idea that you have going with the just the hazard stack in general and setting up Gambit late game and Chi-Yu is like there's so much off team. It's gonna be really hard for your opponents to get any kind of removal on their side. So as long as you get some nice momentum options here soon too, I think that'll kind of put you in a really good spot to keep the offensive theme you got going on here, which is very odd for you. I gotta say,
What?
but
What? That's
that's
so false.
that is what it is.
But
But yeah, that's it.
one more thing to mention, by the way, because this picks have sort of more around it because Funny enough, I was freaking out in the draft because I thought Volume was gonna snipe my Glamora, and it would have been so like karma because I made fun of Volume last season for having a grounded poison being only Glamette, which is like the pre-evolution of Glamora, and I gave him so much shit for it, but he ends up sniping Krypto on it, so it was kind of like really, kind of an awkward,
Yup.
a pretty funny situation, but
Yeah,
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. um, but yeah, let's go into our next pick, which actually has more interesting backstories to go around, at least for my picks
Mhm.
for this next round. But yeah, my pick here is Kilowattrel and Terra Kilowattrel. So this is my other Terra captain, my 8 point below. Is really good, I think, with the fact that it has the ability competitive, which I really like on this aspect because I have so much hazard stack. But it's able to hit really hard. And with Terra, I think it's able to hit its counters a lot better than I was able to before. Because I felt like Kilowattrel really relied on like Hurricane hitting or like, and it couldn't really touch like electric types at all. But now I could tear into like a ground type to be able to deal with that, or I could tear into like a type to hit the ground types to hit, so I could volt switch pretty freely. But something I really wanted to mention though is that there were some interesting situations because somebody that goes by a possible fossil Pokemon um,
Whoa.
leaked kind of told me their plans, and it turns out Kilowattrel was on it, and my next pick was on it as well. So I
Awkward.
yeah, it's pretty awkward. And I guess the best way we compromised, we got one of each between the two Pokemon. So I ended up getting Kilowattrel. I did not get Whimsicott, unfortunately, which would have been really good for the team. Because of like the speed tier, grass type, fairy. It filled a lot of roles that I needed, but it is what it is. Not much I can do about it now, or is there? But we'll
Oh,
get.
oh, trust me, guys. He wanted this Whimsicott. He was in my DMs crying about it for 30 minutes. Trust me, he wanted it.
But yeah, this I feel pretty good about this pick. It gives me the speed tier I really need. I really want it because I want to make sure I have at least one Pokemon over one base 120 speed, and that is Kilowattrel. So yeah,
No, I like the Kilo pick for sure. It gives you that first ground immunity, which I think you definitely need at this point. And then also, what I was saying after your last pick is you've got some nice momentum now too. Does Kilo get U-turn as well as a full switch?
I believe
I think it
so.
does.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it does. So that's really nice. And then obviously, this being your Terramon means it's not going to have a whole lot of switch-ins because primary electric plus flying with any given Terra type of your choice is going to be just very difficult to deal with. So yeah, this one's going to offer some nice utility with the momentum and stuff and whatnot, but also just being another offensive just demon. And your team's got not a whole lot of switch-ins to it at the current moment, so
Yeah.
it'll be very fun for you to just click buttons, I think.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a
Um,
great season.
yes, yes. And then leaking into ew, why did I say that?
Oh my god,
And
linking
then
into
coming
what are you
into
what are
I
you
mean
oh
wait.
whoa whoa
And then dripping into I don't
uh,
know. And then okay. And then waddling over to the other side of the spectrum, we've got Mandibuzz, the other flyer. It seems like we're just copying each other's types at this point. Like what is this? But anyways, we got Mandibuzz here because I also needed a Pokemon off the ground at this point, just because, you know, if I ran into like a Nidoqueen, for example, it kind of destroys me. So we have Mandibuzz at the moment, and gives me that slow pivot like I was looking for. My first defog option, which is really nice, and just overall just a really solid, like fat pivot. And that's really what I needed. A good solid dark type for me. I did look bash; it doesn't get pursued, so I kind of lied about that.
wow,
It sucks.
you little shit.
I know, but but I do have a pursuit mod coming up in the future that makes up for it a little bit, which is nice. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's Mandibuzz there. Good old Bone Thugs.
Yeah, it's a pretty toxic Stolimon, especially something that I could see Crypto always drafting, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a very I think it was a good pick. Yeah, he obviously did it to try to counter volume, so that's perfectly fine because we gotta put
Exactly.
we gotta put volume down after he put himself in his own PRs in first, so we gotta
I
put him down.
know. I'm so sick.
But yeah, no, Mandibuzz is a really good pick. Gives me a lot of momentum options and gives him like a really good pivot removal option too, which is really nice because at the moment, like, Gathering Fire doesn't really like rocks up, so having a good way to remove it is always super amazing for you. Um, yeah, it gives you nice knockoff support too, so that's Mandibuzz does what it does best. So be a Starlymon and a nice pivot. So
Hey, you'll see weak armor come. Don't worry. Don't
yeah,
worry.
nah, I bet you I see Iron Defense come before weak armor. I'm
Oh
just saying.
my gosh. Yo, thank you for the idea, actually. Hold up, hold up. Oh
But yeah,
man.
ready to let's move on to the very interesting next round.
Oh yes, of course. All right, coming in to round number 7, our grass types. Wow, or my second grass type actually. Um, should we just tell the whole story, or maybe not? Maybe not. Maybe not.
You can mention some. We will mention some. We'll talk about
Okay,
some of
okay,
it at
okay,
least.
okay. Basically, I didn't think Bash wanted this mon, Hisuian Electrode, but he did. He did. And I may or may not have went and snagged it up really quick once I figured that out. But it was my pick before him, so it wasn't like I was wait, actually that's exactly like I'm sniping you. You know what? You know what? We'll just move along. We'll just move along. This is my Terramon. This is my free Terra, Hisuian Electrode. And as soon as I found this thing on the board sitting at what was it, 5 points, I was like, it can Terra because the last time I used this thing, it was in a low tier league where you couldn't Terra it because of how good it is. And the idea that this thing can run grass, electric, and ice coverage all together under grassy terrain for me is going to be really fun. And ice isn't even like it doesn't have to do that. I think ground can be very beneficial. I could still go grass and be beneficial. Like it's got a lot of cool options. I mean, flying for God's sakes, who knows, man.
Yeah,
Um, it'll be really interesting, and it gives me a really fast speed tier, which I wanted something above Mega Diancie at the moment. So I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
yeah. I'm just gonna say this. Like, this is a pretty good pick for you. Giving the Leaf Storms those grassy terrain boost or core blast, right? It also looks just like you, so it fits so well for this team.
I'm an
Uh,
angry little lad. Yep.
yep. But yeah, it was a very good pick. Unfortunately for me. But we'll just say that is for now. But it was yeah. I think that something that's really nice was that the speed tier. Yes, it gives you a really good speed tier. It gives you things like static aftermath, which could be really nice as well. But also something really interesting you could use it for is like a soundproof Pokemon. Something like to wall to like Vikavolt per se, right? Because of the fact that you have
Yeah.
soundproof and resist electric types really easily, like electric type moves, because you're double resist for that. So something to just keep in mind. It could be really cool tech wise. But yeah, this thing is gonna. I feel like is gonna be really annoying to be honest in Crypto's hands. It really just needs coverage really typically for like grass or dragons. So uh, yeah, it's just gonna be a ball of fun. But going to going to my pick because of the whole Whimsicott situation, I ended up going with Superior because it fills that speed tier I wanted. It gives me a removal, and it doesn't have momentum, but it does give me glare, which I think is really nice for slowing things down for King Gambit, Chiyu, Garchomp, Mew kind of thing. Um, to be able to force like that kind of stuff. A lot of the counters for King Gambit like typically don't want to get typically are forced in sometimes by Superior, so I could get glares off or knock them off as well, which is really nice. Something also to note is that this is another Pokemon that does not want to be defogged on because of the fact that I get evasion boosts because of Contrary, which is really nice. Um, but yeah, obviously I would love to have this with Terra, but obviously I can't because King Gambit is my Terra, and this is a 9 point. This is above 9 points. But also, not gonna lie, a single type superior Terra is not that good. Um, so I think it really succeeds with this flexibility. But yeah, I think this is going to provide a lot of support. But it also can sweep a lot of games because Superior can get out of hand, especially with like I think a lot of my Pokemon help deal with the Pokemon I want to deal with Superior. So like right like steals, poisons, Garchomp deals with them easily. So does Mew deals with the poisons. Chew deals with steals. Flying types, Kilowattrel I got right there. Uh, Bugs I got get eaten alive by Chiyu kind of thing. You know how it is, right? So yeah, I feel pretty good about this pick. Even though I got sniped, and I know that there was some Helix was attempting to trade a little bit with it, but I ended up sticking with this plan because I feel like pretty confident. I end up feeling pretty confident after working this plan, the rest of the plan out actually with Krypto. Funny enough, to finish out my draft plan. So yeah,
Yes. Once rivals, now friends. It happens, Snipes happen.
yeah,
But it's gonna make us grow, and we're gonna be we're gonna be very happy in the end together.
true.
But anyways,
Oh,
um,
oh, whoa,
but anyways,
yo,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So Superior, very cool mon. The way it like slithers and stuff is like kind of hot, but
yo,
anyways, no, no,
yo.
no, no. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I like its speed tier for you for sure. You need something in between Garchomp and Kilo, and Superior fits that nicely. Even it can run a lot of sets just being like timid, max speed, and still be bulky, which is really nice. And then obviously, given the self boost with Leaf Storm is really just all it needs on the special side to attack things. If you, like you said, you can deal with its counters, which you do really well with Garchomp, Chi-Yu, and whatnot. So it's a really cool mon. Gives you that's another defog option if you want to run it that game. In case you're up against like webs or something and you just got to get it off the field. It's nice to have that as another option. So I think that's good for you for sure. And you really needed I think it was good too because yeah, you did add Kilo, but adding Superior just gives you another mon to beat water types, and water types are very prevalent. So yeah, it was a good pick, and I think your team is coming together pretty nicely here.
Why? Thank you. Why? Thank you. It's almost like somebody helped me
Yeah,
with this
yeah.
plan to make this team come really well
Oh
together.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who would've thought?
But yeah, let's move on to the next round where we have interesting two picks that
Oh
happen back to back.
yeah.
And oh no way!
Dun-dun-dun.
So
Dad?
yeah, yo, son. But yeah, so going into this pick, I originally was gonna get Vaporeon in this like a position before Krypto helped me out with this plan. I ended up getting Mega Blastoise because I want another removal option. And I wanted a bulky water, but also this thing hits like a truck, like an absolute truck with Mega Launcher. Unfortunately, Shell Smash is banned on my Mega Blastoise.
Thank God.
Uh, Unfortunately, because otherwise that would have been pretty nice. But yeah, I think this is going to provide a lot of good support. Really offensive too. So as you can see on this team, it's like going to be really difficult to try to get these like removal going on this team because the team already hits like extremely hard or needs like one or two turns to just like completely take over the game. So, but I really like this. It gives me a momentum, rapid spinner. Yeah, it just hits like a truck. Yeah, that's kind of what it does. Yeah.
It's gonna be so funny when we get done talking about Mega Blastoise and then go right talking about Blastoise. It does the same thing. It's just a lot weaker.
Yeah.
But anyways, on my side, obviously, or not my side yet, but we got yeah, Mega Blastoise here. It's very similar to Chi-Yu. It's a very hard hitting special breaker that can help deal with water types, which is nice because they can beat each other. Oh, whoa, whoa!
Mm.
They can beat down bulky waters for each other, which is nice. Um, and then I honestly don't know why I forgot about that because I knew regular Blastoise had flip turn. I don't know why I forgot Mega Blastoise did, but that's obviously very nice for sure. So any kind of momentum you can get is good, and obviously I think it's one of the best spinners you could probably ask for.
Yeah.
Nothing really to add. I mean, everything you said was good for it, and just another hard hitting Mon with a solid speed tier that you probably kind of needed to get something in between Gambit and like Lamora. Yeah, so
Something like
I like it.
that.
Yeah. And then obviously leaking into the sun here, we got regular Blastoise, which obviously I had Mega Diancie already, so I could not do a Mega. But we got regular Blastoise here. Gives me my first and spoiler only spinner on the team, but adds to the removal option with Mandibuzz, which I very much appreciate. But yeah, no, I'd like Blastoise here. I needed a water type at this point for sure. Fire types were a little bit of an issue. I mean, I guess my first 2 months deal with it, but it was nice to always, obviously, you want a water type. So really nothing much else to add about this. The only difference, the big difference that Bash didn't mention with the Mega Blastoise is that, well, he did mention it, but I can run Shell Smash on the regular Blastoise, which is good. Definitely good because I'm not afraid to run offensive Blastoise in certain games, even though a lot of
Mm,
times it probably will be.
that
Hey, I
sounds like
swept
a
volume with it
lie.
last season. I swept volume with it last season. You can ask. Yeah, but most of the time, yeah, we'll probably be flipping around and not and spinning around and doing all that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically it.
Something I really like is about your Blastoise pick on this team specifically because like uh, Blastoise usually struggles to if with the Shell Smash sets, there usually struggles to break through waters, but you have grassy terrain, so you can run terrain pulse on that, which is gonna be really annoying for bulky waters to deal with. which makes Blastoise even better. But yeah, provides a lot of support. Rapid Spinner, Flip Turn, Shenanigans, Roar, Scald. You know how it is. Crypto's probably going to run some like toxic set, like sub toxic set with Protect or something like that.
Brain
But
Dish.
yep,
Yep.
exactly. He's going to run like Rain Dish with like Rain Dance, so he can get like more extra recovery. That's how he is. But like, yeah, I
Oh,
think this
I'm getting a
pick
boner
was
right now.
yo,
Oh yeah.
yo,
Sorry,
no,
sorry, sorry.
you're good. Oh my god. Yeah, Blastoise just it does it for him. It does it for him. It gets him on. It gets him on and it gets him off. So that's just how Blastoise said. But yeah, I like the. It was a very interesting pick. It was now like these are right back to back and back to back on the dock too because of the fact that they end up going this way. So yeah. Um,
Yep, yep.
yeah, so let's go into the next round here.
Round 9 here.
Yep.
Yes. All right. So I'm taking us on this one, right?
Yep.
All right. Get into round 9 here. Now this got very interesting for me at the end of this draft. I feel like I had some kind of plan, but then it kind of fell apart. But either way, we got Scyther here. I did get sniped in the last round. I'll talk about that. But we got Scyther here. Really surprised that this thing was only sitting at 5 points. I mean, it's not like it's underpriced necessarily, but um, for all it can offer for me, I was like really excited to get this thing. It gives me another mon with a speed tier in between Jirachi and Mega Diancie, which I wanted another mon over base 100 at this point still. So it was nice to fill that gap. It gives me another defogger, not the best one, but it gives me an option there. And lo and behold, here's my Pursuit Trapper. So don't you forget it, guys. Mandibuzz can't get Pursuit, but we got Scyther with Pursuit.
Yeah.
And yeah, just another nice utility pivot, which is good. I plan on using this offensively and defensively. I mean, with a Violite, it's actually really bulky, so it can take on some certain hits, and obviously with reliable recovery with Roost. So, and it definitely hits very hard with Technicians. So,
Yeah.
I'm very happy to have it.
Yeah. Scythe is a very good mon. I just got done using it in the Ubers League and actually put in the finest work in there with like pursuit trapping, U-turning, stuff like that, shenanigans. Even like SD, like bug bite dueling because it hits so hard with it. But I think it's like a really good pick here. Something I actually forgot to ask about, like I don't know if you know this mechanic. Do you know how like pursuit works with technician? Because I'm very curious how that works. Specifically with like
You mean if they switch out?
yeah, if they switch out, is it boosted or if
Yeah,
it's
it
like
gets double. It gets like boosted, then boosted again. Yeah,
that's crazy. Okay, that's
yeah,
crazy.
it's
That's
very
some
strong.
crazy damage right there. So yeah, people beware because apparently I don't even know if you can calc that correctly. By the way, but that's besides the point. But um,
You just double it. Like if it's on the Calcus 40, and then you put it. Actually, I don't know how you do that. What I
because
don't know.
yeah, it's whatever. But yes, Scythe is a really good mon there. Gives you more momentum too, which is really nice because your team has a lot of momentum now. Um, and yeah, it just hits really hard. So excited to see that about it. I will say this might be just my opinion, but I wish I saw this as a Terra captain instead of a Siri Electro. But that's just because I'm kind of biased a little bit because I love Terra Scyther. But yeah, going to my pick. So I was missing a fairy because even though I do have Terra Fairy King Gambit, there's sometimes I don't want to run it, and also I don't want them to take advantage of the fact that like I would need to like lead and Terra with King Gambit if I want my fairy right early on. And I also was not having the best switch-ins to fairy types at the moment because of Glamora being my only resist. So this was the best solution that came in it. It was a steal also at 6 points because we forgot about it and mistiered it.
Forgot about it, huh? Forgot
Nah,
about
no,
it.
straight up. We definitely I completely forgot about this.
Yeah,
Like
we
that was
did.
like this low. But by the way, I'm just saying Sketch thinks this Pokemon deserves to be at 6 points. I don't agree with that at all.
Nah.
That's kind of a trash opinion, but you know, Sketch
Just
has a lot
wait.
of trash opinions. But what?
Holy shit! Just wait until that hammer comes down. Oh, you're gonna be getting
Yeah.
banged all night. That's crazy.
Yo.
That's funny.
uh,
Yo.
yep, that's how it be. But yeah, Ticket Time provides a lot of support. I really with like Encore, Knockoff, T Wave, Stealth Rocks. It's also a Stealth Rock where I could confidently get like rocks up against Krypto because of the fact that like Mold Breaker goes through Magic Bounce, so I don't have to worry about that.
Well, I
Um,
sure wouldn't be switching Mega Knights and on Ticket Tongue anyways. What the fuck? I'm not that bad. Jeez.
you
Oh,
never
goodness
know what.
gracious.
But
What
yeah,
the fuck?
no, in like a situation maybe like Mega Dancy, Mega Evolve, and Protect, right? That's like a situation, right? So, but yeah, no, Tigadon does provide good support. It gives me good Spadef wall, ish per se, because it doesn't get reliable recovery. But yeah, I think it provides a lot for the team, and just utility wise. And it was definitely probably the best fairy I could probably fit on the team with the amount of points left that works the best with the team at least. So
Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, I can't add too much more to this. This is my favorite Mon in Generation 9. I love this guy. Or wait, is it Gen 9 or Gen 8? I don't play the games
bro,
anymore.
it's Gen 9.
Okay, okay. I thought so. But no, this thing is sick. I love this one. Design wise, but honestly, it did help your team a lot. Having that extra fair resist is going to be nice. It's a very good, specially defensive one. So um, it's going to be very helpful for taking down certain fairies and whatnot. And like you were talking about with rocks, I mean, even Mold Breaker aside, it's just a good, reliable stealth worker, anyways. A good knockoff user and another T Wave mod. So if you don't want to have glare on your superior for whatever reason 1 week, then you can always run this with Thunderwave and help the rest of the squad out a little bit. Also has Encore, which I'm pretty sure you already mentioned, but is
Yeah,
definitely and it's underrated speed. Like base 94 is not slow by any means. So for what
yeah.
it does, it is a solid support mon, and I think it adds some good value to your squad.
You know what's also crazy, by the way?
So
This mon can actually Thunderwave Goldango. So let's go,
yo,
suck it,
watch out,
volume.
volume. He's gonna not only is he gonna pull up with Glamora to flex on you for having a Glimmet, he's gonna thunder with your Golden Go. Oh my gosh,
Feels
it's
bad, bro.
crazy.
No.
Wait, do you even play volume this?
I
I don't
do,
know.
I
No.
do, I do, I do.
Okay, okay.
I'm waiting. I've been waiting for this matchup for so long.
Oh my
He's not
gosh.
dodging me anymore. But
Nope, he's not Doge noobing you anymore. That's for sure.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Um, but yeah, let's go into the last round here, where we got some very interesting picks.
Yup.
So as you can see on my side, I have been missing a fighting type, and so this was 1 point. And you know what? Kind of was testing around with Krypto with this on like Showdown. It's kind of fire for 1 point. Kind of fire. It gets some really cool
Yep.
utility moves. Obviously, it doesn't have that great coverage, which is kind of like the big issue. Because it has like what like the best way to hit Ghost type is like Brutal Swing or Sucker Punch. I guess like Brutal
Yeah,
Swing is Technician boosted though, so like
exactly.
but yeah, I feel like it is missing, and it's very slow, but what it does is very interesting. I think it could be really interesting with like certain moves like Octolock, and also it gets Topsy Turvy, which is really cool too. So I can actually, in fact, if this person over here brings Calm Mind Musharna over here, I could just Topsy Turvy it, and then haha, now I wall you little bitch. But
What the fuck?
no, I'm kidding.
I'm baton passing out on you, bro. Get out of here.
You're baton passing your negative stats, bro.
Yup, I'm cheating.
But yeah, this is a really cool pick here. Kind of rounds out the squad, providing with like interesting. I don't think it's gonna come to a lot of games, but I think it could be really interesting against certain teams. It could provide some possible work around with it. I guess, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I'm going with.
Okay, okay. No, I definitely was a big advocate of this one, so I'm glad you decided to pick it up. And I don't think you mentioned, but also it gets circle throw, so it goes very nicely with all your hazard spamming on your team. If you
True.
do bring like a bulkier set some game, which if it checks something in particular, very some like unique mon or something, then maybe you can throw off some circle throws, and who knows, maybe like a rest set would be good. I know you're a very stolid player, so you'd
What?
appreciate that.
What? What
And,
about my team said stall, bro? That's crazy.
um, let's see. Leftovers superior. Ugh,
Oh my god.
disgusting. No, 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 it's not too solid. I'll give you that. But yeah, no, I'm excited to see you use the 1 point grab blocked. I think out of the 1 pointers, you gotta this thing probably top, maybe not top five, probably like top 10 in the 1 pointers. Like it's
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah.
So it'll be good for sure. And then over on my side for my last pick here, I went with Musharna here. Now, I technically did get sniped on Sableye, but I'm honestly kind of glad I got Musharna just because I wanted another fighting resist. Yes, both those offered fighting resist, Sableye and Musharna, but um, what was I gonna say? A lot of like just fighting types in general have other coverage to hit Sableye with, and there's strong enough fighting types that probably could just Oko Oko Sableye with like a non-stab move or get very close to it because Sableye's like bulk isn't that crazy. So having just a really reliable, solid, just pure psychic type was nice, and has momentum with Baton Pass, setup capability with Calm Mind, another T Waver, which is really fun. Ha 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 ha. And then
Uh,
yeah, just a couple other cool unique options we got in the back that I'll kind of keep hidden, but I'm excited to use this guy a bit. I've used it one other time in a league before, and I had a good time with it. It's a fun, very underrated mon for what it can do.
yeah. Yeah, Musharna's a thick mon there, a little stolly there. But yeah,
Yeah.
it gives a momentum, which is really nice with like baton pass. It gives crypto a cleric, which is really nice. I don't know if they have that at the moment, but I guess Mega Dancy has it. Maybe Jirachi.
Yep.
But that's really nice, especially for gouging fire. Gives you it knocks another type off the chart because I know Sketch will probably have like some sort of orgasm to that. If I getting another getting another type knocked off the chart right there for you, but yeah, I think Machado provides a lot of support for the team, which is really nice, and it helps deal with like fighting types because at the moment like your fighting type switchings aren't the best, like to be honest, because like Scyther really just like Scyther might die to like a rock coverage right there, and that's probably your only other resist other bit besides Needle King at the moment, which Needle King is
And
pretty
gouging
frail.
fire. I have to tell you, yeah.
Before
Yeah.
Terra, it's rough though. So
Yep.
giving like a nice option to switch into fighting types is really nice. Obviously, Sableye would have been cool on this team, but um,
Yeah.
yeah, it is what it is. Jimmy
Fuck you,
gets you
Jimmy.
again. Gets you again. It's the
Yeah,
best of you
Jimmy
again.
really needed his 3 dark types on his team. Yep, it made a lot of
Yo.
sense, but you know.
But yeah, these are the teams we're running with this season. Going to be very interesting, to say the least. We actually, spoiler, do play later the season, so
Yo.
I'll try to convince this man to do this on call. But I know for a fact he's going to say no because he's a wuss. But
Nope,
uh,
nope.
but yeah, hope you guys enjoy our teams because it's going to be a fun season, and I'm really happy to see crypto back to uploading because that's going to be
Oh,
super hype.
fuck yeah, man. It'll be fun, dude. We'll meet each other in whatever week it is, undefeated, and it'll be a fire game, and we'll go from there. It'll be
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
Yes, sir. Anyways, thanks for having me on the channel, Basher Nation. And the what do you call your guys? The Bashticles or something like that?
Nah, it is in fact Basher Nation, but
Basher
yeah,
Nation.
Basher Nation, but yeah, and thank you for having me on your channel, you little kryptonites.
Yo, that's kind of fire. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
go with that. I'll go with that.
But
I usually just call them the EDPs, but anyways,
yo, whoa, that's crazy.
anyways,
Oh my god.
anyways.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, so let's end off there. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, dash out.
Krypto and